safety. But he has no boat, so he builds a raft, he paddles his way across, and he reaches the safety of the other shore. Here in this parable, the near shore, the region where the man is stuck, that is a symbol for birth and death, filled with all the dangers, troubles, and sufferings. The stream is the current of craving, the current of defilements that we have to cross. And the further shore, the destination, the place of safety, that is Nibbana. Now the attainment of Nibbana comes in two stages. These two stages are spoken of as the two Nibbana elements, or two elements of Nibbana, Nibbana Dhatu. One is the Nibbana element with a residue remaining. The other is the Nibbana element without a residue remaining. The Nibbana element with a residue remaining, in Pali this is the Sa-upadisesa Nibbana Dhatu. And this is the state of Nibbana which is attained in this present life by the Arahat, the liberated one. The Arahat has followed the path to its end. He's eradicated all the mental defilements, and he's attained Nibbana in this present life. The element of Nibbana which he realizes is called the Nibbana element with a residue remaining. Now what is the residue that is remaining? The residue is the set of 5 aggregates that constitute his present life individuality. At the moment of birth, he acquired the compound of 5 aggregates that make up his psychophysical organism. These he grasped through his ignorance and craving from the past life. But in this present life, this person has reached liberation. He learned the Dhamma from the Buddha, he practiced the path, brought it to fulfillment, and by bringing it to fulfillment, he extinguished all of his defilements. But with the extinguishing of the defilements, his individual being, composed of the 5 aggregates, doesn't come to an end immediately. His body and mind continue on to the end of the lifespan. The psychophysical organism that remains, this combination of the 5 aggregates, this is the residue that stays on in his attainment of Nibbana. Even while living in the state of perfect liberation of mind, the Arhat continues to perform the necessary functions of life. He doesn't simply enter into some unbroken trance and remain there until his death, but he goes about his daily activities. He goes to sleep at night, he wakes up in the morning, he eats, he goes to the bathroom, he talks, he performs his various duties, and so on. On the surface, he might seem very much like others. He doesn't wear a label that says, I'm an Arhat. But though he goes about his daily activities, he has completely uprooted and abolished all the defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion. He cannot perform any action of body, speech, or mind that springs from these defilements. And because the state of Nibbana is marked by the destruction of defilements, it is also called the Kilesa Parinibbana, the Nibbana that consists in the extinguishing of the defilements. And in this state of Nibbana, the 5 aggregates still stand. That is the residue that's remaining. But though they still stand, they no longer harbor the force that built them, the force that brought them into being. That is the force of craving. The Buddha says that in the case of the Arhat, his 5 aggregates stand cut off at the root, uchina mula. the five aggregates of the ordinary being, these five aggregates contain craving. They contain the root or source of more becoming in the future, the root of existence, craving. But the aggregates of the Arhat, those are cut off at the root. They are five purified aggregates. They're no longer clung to, no longer grasped and held to, no longer identified as being I, me, myself. And when they stand and function, they function just like a phonograph that has been turned off. When we turn off a phonograph, the turntable continues to revolve until it loses its momentum and comes to a stop. But even though it turns, there's no more electricity coming through to keep it revolving. Similarly, in the case of the Arhat, there's no more craving and no more clinging running through his mind, sustaining the process of becoming and leading it on to future existences. His five aggregates continue on to the end of his life, but the five aggregates stand cut off at the root. They no longer support the craving out of which they have arisen. To understand the experience of the Arhat, the experiential side of the Nibbana element with the residue remaining, we can look at it from 3 points of view, according to the three basic aspects of human experience. The affective side, the side of feeling and emotion, the volitional side, the aspect of will, and the cognitive side, the aspect of knowledge and understanding. First, we'll look at it from the affective side. And from this angle, the experience of Nibbana is a state of complete happiness. It's a state which is utterly free from all mental suffering, from sorrow, grief, worry, and fear. It doesn't mean that the Arahant doesn't experience pain anymore. The Arahant can still feel pain with the body. If he makes contact with sharp or rough objects, he'll feel physical pain. But this pain doesn't disturb his mind in any way. It doesn't cause him annoyance, sorrow,